world of Harry Potter, Azkaban is known as the most feared wizarding prison. Guarded by Dementors, it is a place of absolute despair and hopelessness. But what we see in the movies only scratches the surface. Questions like who built it or why was it infested with Dementors often come up, and while the books don't fully explain these, J.K. Rowling has shared some fascinating details about its dark history. So today, let's dive deep into the terrifying and mysterious history of Azkaban. First, let's talk about the name. J.K. Rowling revealed that Azkaban's name comes from two different sources. The first is Alcatraz, the famous real-life prison located on an isolated island in San Francisco Bay. The second is the Hebrew word Abaddon, which translates to place of destruction or depths of hell. Combining these two inspirations gave us the name Azkaban, perfectly reflecting its dreadful nature. Now, moving to its origins, Azkaban wasn't originally meant to be a prison. It was built in the 15th century on a remote, stormy island in the North Sea. This location was so isolated that it never appeared on any maps, not even magical ones. Historians believe the fortress was created using powerful magic, but its origins are still mysterious. The first known inhabitant of Azkaban was a dark wizard named Echrisdus. Little is known about him, except that he was both deeply insane and extraordinarily skilled in the dark arts. Echrisdus used the fortress as his personal domain, where he carried out horrific acts. He would lure Muggle sailors to the island, only to torture and kill them for his own amusement. To hide his activities, Echrisdus used powerful concealment charms to keep the fortress hidden from both the Muggle and wizarding worlds. After his death, these charms began to weaken, and the Ministry of Magic eventually discovered the fortress. When the Ministry investigated the site, they found it filled with Dementors, dark, soulless creatures that feed on human happiness. The fortress itself seemed to be cursed, radiating a feeling of despair and fear. Those who entered rarely spoke about what they had seen, and many refused to ever go back. Initially, the Ministry considered destroying the fortress. However, experts warned that attempting to dismantle the fortress could unleash the Dementors, who would spread across the wizarding world. There was also fear that the dark magic lingering in the fortress might curse anyone who tried to destroy it. With no safe options, the Ministry chose to leave it alone. Over the years, the Dementors continued to breed and multiply, turning Azkaban into a literal hive of despair. At this point, Azkaban was just a forgotten, cursed island. The wizarding world had smaller prisons spread across the country to house criminals. But in 1717, everything changed with the introduction of the International Statute of Secrecy. This law required wizards to avoid drawing any attention from Muggles, which included avoiding magical disturbances like prison escapes. The Ministry decided to consolidate all the smaller prisons into one secure facility. Plans were made to construct a new, modern prison, but when Damocles Roll became Minister for Magic, he rejected the idea. Roll, known for his cruel and authoritarian nature, insisted on using Azkaban as the central prison. He believed the Dementors would make excellent guards and saw it as an efficient solution. Despite protests from many experts, Roll went ahead with his plan. Prisoners were sent to Azkaban, and it quickly gained a reputation as a place of unimaginable suffering. The Dementors drained prisoners of their happiness and hope, leaving many of them insane. In 1733, Eldritch Diggory became Minister for Magic and was horrified by what he saw during a visit to Azkaban. The prisoners were not just being punished, they were being destroyed. Many had completely lost their sanity, and a graveyard had even been established near the prison for those who died from despair. Diggory wanted to shut down Azkaban and remove the Dementors. He formed a committee to find an alternative solution, but experts warned that if the Dementors were removed from the island, they would spread across the wizarding world, targeting innocent people. Before the committee could make any decisions, Diggory tragically died of dragonpox, and no other minister dared to challenge the system after him. Instead, Azkaban was expanded and fortified. It became a place that even the most hardened criminals feared. Thousands of Dementors now guarded the fortress, making it nearly impossible to escape. Many argued that its harsh conditions were justified, as no one had ever successfully escaped from Azkaban. But this record was broken in the 20th century. The first known escape was by Barty Crouch Jr. His parents visited him in Azkaban, and during their visit, his mother switched places with him using Polyjuice Potion. The Dementors, who rely on sensing emotions rather than sight, failed to notice the swap, allowing Crouch Jr. to escape. The second major escape was by Sirius Black. After being wrongly imprisoned for the murder of Peter Pettigrew, Sirius spent 12 years in Azkaban. Unlike most prisoners, Sirius was able to retain his sanity by transforming into his animagus form, a dog. Dementors cannot sense animals in the same way they sense humans, which helped him resist their influence. In his dog form, Sirius managed to slip past the guards and escape the island. Things took a turn during Voldemort's return to power. The Dementors, who had always served the Ministry, abandoned Azkaban to join Voldemort. He promised them free reign to feed on as many souls as they wanted. With the Dementors gone, many Death Eaters escaped from the prison and rejoined Voldemort's ranks. After Voldemort's defeat, Kingsley Shacklebolt became Minister for Magic and made significant reforms. Recognizing the inhumanity of using Dementors, he removed them from Azkaban and replaced them with human guards. These guards work in shifts, ensuring that no one is exposed to the prison's dark atmosphere for too long. Since then, Azkaban has remained a secure prison, and no prisoner has successfully escaped. Azkaban's story is a chilling reminder of the darker side of the wizarding world, a place where despair itself became a weapon. And that's the full, detailed history of Azkaban. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like this video, share it with your fellow Potterheads, and subscribe to the channel for more magical content. Remember, fear of a name only increases fear of the thing itself.